The Healing Streams live healing services with the man of God, Pastor Chris, has turned out to be the most exceptional and phenomenal event ever. In June 2021, Jude from Maryland, USA, being an athlete, was attempting a challenge during one of his training sessions when he suddenly realized that he couldn't stand up like he normally should. After some examinations, he realized that his right leg was broken. He was immediately rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and it was diagnosed that he suffered a broken tibia in his right leg. An external fixation was done on his right leg to keep the leg straight. As a result of this condition, he experienced excruciating pain. He could no longer walk, hence he had to use a wheelchair and crutches for mobility. It was in this state that Jude participated in the July edition of the Healing Streams live healing services with the man of God, Pastor Chris. Watch as he shares his inspiring testimony.
Today, I would like to share my testimony on how God healed me from a broken bone. On the 16th of June, I was going through an activity that I normally do. I am very athletic, so I go into a bunch of those. So as I was attempting a challenge, I noticed that I couldn't stand up like I should. And evidently, I looked at my leg and it was bent. I thought it was something minor, but afterwards I noticed that it's actually a broken bone. So at that point, they called the ambulance and took me to the hospital. And at that point, I was still thinking it was something we could amend and just put back together, and I'll go home right away. But to my surprise, it was an actual tibia that was broken.
That goes into the joint there.
Yeah.
And then you've got this big piece back here that's broken.
And since my bones were broken, they couldn't stay straight. So they had to place an external fixation in my bone, one on my thigh and one on my leg, to hold the leg straight. At that point, the doctor came and told me that they would do some diagnostics and see what's in there and see if there's any ligaments or cartilages that were affected in this fracture. And at this point, my mind and my heart was pumping. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I had to sustain myself with a bunch of drugs. I had to sustain myself with oxycodone, cyclobenzene, it's a lot of things, morphine. These things helped me to sleep well without being in extreme pain. As a result of taking those drugs, I noticed that I couldn't sleep anymore. I would lay down on the bed, my eyes would be closed, sometimes open, the whole 24 hours. So at home, going through so many pains, not able to sleep, not able to do anything. My pastor told me that I have to be in church for healing school, for the healing program with Pastor Chris. I told my pastor that, Pastor, I'm in pains. I can't even leave the house. It's hard. I can't even do anything without help of anyone. I can't even stay in church for so many hours. It's painful. She said, no, you come. God is able to heal you and perfect this. And I listened to my pastor and I came. And on that very day, while I was in that auditorium, glory to God, I was in severe pain, very severe pain. But then I remembered when Pastor came in, and Pastor was singing, and I was singing along with them. And at that moment, I was caught up. I felt like the pain was gone. As I was lifting my hands and I was crying, not the pain anymore, just crying. Just tell him how wonderful he is. The pastor was just telling us, tell him how wonderful he is, how beautiful he is, how great he is. And I was just glorifying God, telling him how beautiful he is, how there's nothing that's too hard for him. That he is God, he created all things. He made my bones, he made my flesh, he made every ligament, arteries and veins in my body. As I was just praising him, I felt a relief in my spirit. I received a sensation all over my body. And lo and behold, I started moving my foot up and down. I started dancing. I danced, and I started, dancing, twisting my foot from here and there. And Pastor said, stand up, and I stood up without my clutches. I was moving my foot. I stood up, I raised my foot. These are the things that I couldn't do. I mean, my bones were broken. Like there's a break right there at my tibia. I wasn't supposed to do this. And by the power of the Holy Ghost, on this very day, during the Healing Streams Healing School, Life with Pastor Chris, I received my healing. And something happened when I left that auditorium and went home. For the first time in so many days, I had sleep without interference. And I'm so grateful. Today, I'm perfect. Today, I can use my foot, I can walk. Today, I can do what I normally do before. It's been a wonderful experience of the power of God in my life. And I give God all the praise, all the honor, and all the adoration. And for anyone watching, it is possible. I'm a living witness. Wherever you are, whether you are at home, I received mine in the church. Some people receive theirs in the home. And I believe that for whatever you're going through, your bones, whatever it is, it's been there for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 month, you can receive your healing. And I give glory to God once again, and I give glory to, I give thanks to Pastor Chris. Thank you for allowing God to use you to fix